Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another live hangout here at Voice Essentials, the second last one for 2025. Yeah, what a year it's been. We're going to reminisce and reflect on the year that was next week when Linda joins us. Linda joins us every week. She's in the chat moderating our live chat right now. And hello, Linda. But next week she's going to be visually with us. She'll be on the show, and we're going to. I think she has collected a whole heap of info for us, including the poll results from the year. I think I don't want to make promises that Linda can't keep, but today's poll is just a bit of a fun one. 4 of you have already voted. For those of you who are listening along in replay, today's fun poll, which we'll look at the results later, which singing super quirk fits you? My voice wakes the neighbours is number 1 option. I nail notes I didn't aim for, number 2. Number 3, vibrato appears at random. And number 4, I'm duet partners with my cat. And can I tell you, as I'm looking at it right now, because we're at the beginning of the show, there's only 4 votes, but it's actually a equal, even tie currently. Every single answer has 1 vote. So it will be interesting to see how it goes as we go along. Rebecca, I can see you in the live chat. Welcome. Gail, I can see you also. I see a question just straight up from Gail asking, are you going to live review the song submitted in the Facebook group? Gail, just on that point, and I'm glad you raised it, I think you might be asking a question about the fact that we were doing live reviews of community members' material, and we did 2. We've done 2 of those. I put a break on it because I had a moment where I was hoping that Mackenzie Kate had put forward a song, and I wanted to review her song, but we couldn't review it in the video context that she'd provided. It's just one of those, logistical things. And so I had been waiting and hoping that Mackenzie would be able to give us a new one. Unfortunately, Mackenzie Kate couldn't. Not Mackenzie's fault, just the circumstance. What I'm going to do, I hope to start that whole thing up again in the new year, and have the opportunity to do live reviews and reactions to community members' videos in the new year. And we'll probably put the request out as a fresh request, I think, in 2026. The year has certainly come to an end pretty much now, and so I'm not going to do that anymore. And what have we got here? Rebecca is saying, thank you for a great season with you all. It's been a hard year for me and my family, but you have made it very special. Rebecca, I'm sorry to hear that it's been a difficult year, but I'm glad that we as a community have been here pretty much for you in Texas, every Sunday night throughout the year, and we'll be here again in 2026. So, and I hope that the new year rolls into a new positive season for you. I hope that can be the case. We've got some questions already ready to go that are backed up from the last few weeks that I'm going to answer. But of course, please place your questions into the live chat now if you've got any. Okay, you saw that there was another. Gail's just said she saw that there was another video submitted on the post, and I was curious to hear the review on it. Oh, okay. Yes, I haven't got to it, Gail, I must admit. Life is busy. And before we get into the questions, I do want to let you know that I'm participating this year, as many of you are, in The Secret Singer, which is organised by Kathy Schneider on the Facebook group. And this year, I have been given a song that I've never heard before. In fact, last year's I hadn't ever heard before either. Last year's was a bit more quirky for me. This year, the song I've been given is beautiful. It's a beautiful song. I certainly hope I do it justice. And it is my aim to play it at the end of of our last show. Remember last year I did that? I'm hoping to do that again this coming week when we have our final show. I will finish the entire show with that live video. Well, it won't be live. I'll have pre-recorded. I'm going to hopefully pre-record it on Wednesday. The song was originally by, well, certainly the what I could find, by Vanessa Williams in 1997. It's called I Wonder as I Wander. And that sounds a bit odd. It is an odd little sentence, and I've got to really be careful around the shaping of those words. And it is challenging. I've found it challenging. Firstly, it sits my voice in the lower register for most of it. There's some really low work that I have to do, which I'm really enjoying the challenge of. The melody, although is quite repetitive, in fact, it's really only 3 verses and a repeat of verse 1. But the structural elements of the melody are quite interesting, and so that's I'm letting you all know. I'm thoroughly enjoying the process of learning this tune, and the melody is so beautiful. And a big thank you. I still don't know who selected the song for me, but a big thank you to whoever you were. This is a song I think I'll put in my, occasionally I'm requested these days to still sing for Christmas events. I think this is going to go into my selection. It's a beautiful song. So enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I'm seeing this a whole year again. Just looking through some of the. Oh, Neeby's in the house. Hello, Neeby. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Hope your mum is well. Okay, we should get to some questions. Should we not? We should. Let's dive in here. So this first question I'm going to answer. Again, if you've got questions, please put them into the chat, the live chat. Toku Lover 89 asked, this is back in October, asks, how do I sing baritone? For your information, how do I sing baritone? For your information, I am a baritone. As a baritone, you sing baritone by singing songs that are sitting in your upper register, like the top of your range. That's probably going to give you that sense of being a baritone. I say that, and I immediately follow that up by saying, ultimately, and we've spoken about this quite a bit here on the channel, ultimately, you can't change your biological setup outside of taking the very intense, very challenging journey of transgender, the transgender process. So that, the trans stuff aside, when we talk about cisgender, where I as a tenor, I'm always going to be a tenor. I'm physically incapable of being anything else. It's part of the reason I'm enjoying this song I'm learning, is because I have to work down into baritone notes. Will they ever sound like a baritone? Definitely not. They are a tenor's low notes. And it's the same for you, Toku Lover 89. Your baritone notes, those notes that are going to sit at the very top of the range of whatever song you choose, they might be high and they might feel thinner than normal, but are they ever going to be true baritone? Probably not. For those, again, I have a whole video on the definition of baritone. It's basically just the middle ground between baritone and tenor. It's in the name, right? Very famous baritoners. You would think Elton John, Billy Joel. These guys are all. Josh Groban would be classified as a baritone. It's just a high baritone, yeah. Equally, you could say it's a low tenor, but I think you would be more given to calling it a high baritone. So I hope that is helpful, Toku Lover 89. On November the 3rd, so this is a couple of weeks ago, HV437 asked, hey, Dr. Dan, I've been trying to work on my mixed voice, but not sure what are the most effective and efficient exercises to train and strengthen it. Could you please recommend your best ones? When developing mixed voice, what we want to do is balance your voice. And so some of the best work you can do in establishing what you're calling mixed voice, and that's an acceptable term, is we're wanting to balance the tone. We're wanting to take the weight off the tone so it's not a chest voice sound, but not have it so light that it becomes falsetto or flute. And so we're wanting to have that middle ground. SOVT, semi-occluded vocal tract activities, lip bubbles, tongue trills, can be really beneficial in developing this balanced tone where the weighting of that tonality in your voice is balanced. And you just go looking and playing around with it. So in Voice Essentials 1, you'd be looking at exercises 17 and 18. Equally some forward placement work where you get to sit the voice and very purposefully position the tone. So you can hear that's a mixed tone where it's not or it's very balanced. Mixed is just a balancing point, isn't it? But not a point, it's sort of a balancing zone where the weight is neither here nor there. And so start off with SOVTs and be mindful of breath pressure, and so you can play around with developing your air as well. Rush Gaming 732 from November the 10th, which was last week when we had Brian Gill on. That was a great show, wasn't it? Brian, yeah, it was a really, I found it a really great conversation to have with him around. And but I go to say the conversation, it's oh, where did it go? I forget what we talked about, but I do remember getting to the end of it, and I said to Brian, that was a great conversation. Like, it was really, really good. And now that I go to talk about what it was, I can't remember what it was. Linda, help! Do you, Rush Gaming 732, do professional singers who are famous only use breathing techniques like appoggio, diaphragmatic breathing, back breathing, ribs breathing, and 360-degree breathing? If they do, how is that different from mine? Okay, so I think the answer is almost in the question, which could be read as a statement. Oh, no, I've just seen Lynn. Pressed phonation. We talked about pressed phonation because we played that clip. This is last week. We played that clip from Dr. Sadeloff having the conversation with Renee Fleming. Yeah, it was really important information. Please check that out from an instructional point of view, because it is as Brian described it, it can be a bit of an epidemic. Back to the question about breathing. The reality is that a lot of contemporary famous singers are actually not trained. Some of them are, and some of them go to great lengths to, reveal and tell us about their vocal development journey, which is great because I think it gives us insight into the fact that they're not just what we classify as gifted singers. No, they've worked really hard on their craft. But many contemporary singers aren't actually technically skilled. And so the breathing that they are doing, that you are observing, Rush Gaming 732, may well be just whatever their body does. Now, that is an important point to observe, because as you've quite rightly, you've listed quite a number of breathing techniques. You've said appoggio, diaphragmatic breathing, back breathing, ribs breathing, 360-degree breathing. I would add to that accent method. These are all valid approaches to breath management. The research shows, the most current research shows, that every body breathes differently. And it is important, and I certainly go about this with my students, it is important to orientate your approach to breathing in accordance with what your body does. And a big part of that is your morphology. So, for example, very tall, thin, slender people really struggle to access any awareness of any work in the abdominal area. I was working with a slender student last week, and they themselves were saying, I don't feel any sense of connection to my abdominal area. That's fine. But they did have a sense of connection to the upper area, and this is also plays out in the research. Equally, people who are on the larger side physically, they will have a sense of connection down lower because there's more body mass to move. And so it is important that you work your breath management techniques and approaches around what your body is willing and able to do with you. And so I certainly hope that's helpful. Toku Lover 89, you are back. We just answered your question. I hope you got to hear it. If you didn't, you'll have to go back and have a listen. Patricia Collins is just saying she enjoyed the Brian Gill and even watched the link to the Voice Fed conference. Yeah, I'm glad you took the opportunity to do that. You would have heard some really interesting conversation. Like, it wasn't just press phonation that that was the topic that Brian and I drew out of that conversation, but I did put that link into last week's video for the very reason that Patricia took advantage of, and that was to go and have a listen to the whole thing. Patricia, I'm glad you did that. That's good. We don't currently have any other questions. Help me out, everyone. I need questions to be able to answer for a Q&A session. We're only 20 minutes in. Can I tell you the other thing? I've been sharing with you that I'm really enjoying this track, this song that I'm doing. Part of the enjoyment in learning this song is it has actually sent me down the road of well, it's a rabbit hole of AI music. And the reason for that, and I'm not completely new to AI. I use Moises for track separation, and I've used it for some stem production. Stems are like when you record your vocals, that's the vocal stem, and then you've got your drum stem, or drums can be broken down into snare, hi-hat, cymbals, and they can be all separate stems. And you can have your guitar and bass, they're all separate stems. Anyway, with the song that I've been given, I really enjoyed the Vanessa Williams version, and but I found a backing track to but it's not very good. It just wasn't very good, and I was a bit disappointed, because I thought, I don't want to sing this song to that track, because I want to kind of sing the same kind of version as the Vanessa Williams version, because it's so pretty. It's very orchestral, very ambient. And this track that I found was, well, as I said, it just wasn't very good. I had even purchased the track to use, but I was just, it wasn't working for me. I thought to myself, I wonder, and then I thought to myself, well, you know what I could do is I could just grab the Vanessa Williams, stem separate, remove the vocal, and use. But then I thought, no, that's a breach of copyright. Certainly, my understanding of copyright is that would be a breach of copyright. And so I thought, I wonder if I can get the program I'm using is called Suno, and it's been all over the internet. There's a whole heap of very controversial comments being made about it, but and some of it I quite agree with. But for the task that I needed to basically produce a quality backing track of the song that I wanted to sing in the form and style, so I've been playing with. I think I created a pretty cool track. Well, Suno created a pretty cool track, and so acknowledging I haven't done anything wrong copyright-wise, because it's a complete new generation of the track. No vocals, it'll be my vocals. There you go. It's been quite the discovery process. And can I tell you, and obviously you won't get to hear it until next week, but the quality of it is just like crazy good. Like the track, the orchestral backing. Madness. It's a bit scary how good it is. A bit scary. Okay, let's come over to a question here. We've got a question here from our friend Rebecca. Here we go. Rebecca's asking, what's the best exercise to strengthen my lower range? I think anything that enables you to sing into your lower register. I think the belt activities are going to be really helpful in Voice Essentials 1. That's exercises 6 and 7. I also use exercise 30, the Lady Gaga activity from Voice Essentials 2, to work on belt with my more intermediate students. And so anything that works down low and empowers balance of air pressure and feeds the air really comfortably, I think you're going to get benefit from, Rebecca. So I'd start there. Gail has asked another question, a question here. Who is a modern pop singer that you would say has very good technique? Oof. There's quite a few of them actually, and I've had the great pleasure and privilege of reviewing many of them on the channel now, as a part of the reaction and review videos. An Australian singer who I admire greatly for her vocal technique is Kate Miller-Heidke, um, and I I actually have had the privilege of singing with her many moons ago. But she's got a great technique, and she does really work on her technique. Like, it's not just her opening her mouth and hoping for the best. She's very intentional, very skilled. Um, yeah, so that would be one. Um, Another singer who I really enjoy technically is Floor Jansen. I think her skill. She's a symphonic metal singer, so she brings together classical nuances with contemporary pop modes, rock modes, I should say. Um, I think I do think another singer who's really highly skilled in her ability to sing really great covers is Kat Jade from HSCC, the Hindley Street Country Club. She's great. So there's three. Yeah, two of them, I'm pleased to say, two of them Aussies. Really, really good. Always happy to give a shout out for my for Aussie people. How do we go? We've got another one here. How does one tell their vocal type? Is it just range, or does it include the sound or weight? DBA Winchester, it's all of the above. It is not just range, and I make that very clear in one of my top performing videos. Can I encourage you to go over to the channel and check it out? You're basically looking, go onto the video tab on the channel page, go to the search function and type in voice type, and you're going to find a number of videos there. And it's going to walk you through it step by step. There's a free worksheet you can download, and you're going to be able to work through, because it is partly the weight of your voice, the sound of your voice, but we talk about a thing called prima voce. And prima voce is about, some people use the term tessitura. It's where is the sweet spot of your voice? And that is then going to determine kind of the nuance of your voice typing and classification. I always follow the discussion up of voice classification. For contemporary singers, it's not something that you want to go about just placing a big, red stamp on your forehead and saying, I am ... Even though, for example, I've described myself as many times as a tenor, that does not stop me from wanting to explore those lower notes, and I'm getting to do that in this song I'm learning for the Secret Singer. And so my encouragement is to know, where does your voice usually want to play and sit comfortably. But as a solo singer, the need for classification is far less important than it would be if you were, for example, in an ensemble, in a community choir, or, for example, if you're doing BVs in your local church, you would want to know where your voice is going to sit most comfortably. Oh, dearie me, we've got quite a few questions coming in here now. DBA followed up with the statement, I've been getting back into singing. I don't exactly know what my vocal type is now. Go and check that video out, DBA, and yeah, come back to us and let us know what's been going on. Oh, I see. Mila has just said Jam Zone has the song that I'm learning, um, that I could. Anyway, we'll talk about it when you come in tomorrow, Mila. Da 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 da. Now, let's get to Neebi's comment here. Well, Neebi, where have you? Neebi's asked this question. I think this is more fun than anything. I have a question. Dr. Dan, have you ever been singing in the rain? Probably. I can't remember. Now, can I tell you, that is the style of question that we want, I think, next week. When we do our Ask Dr. Dan, ADA, anything. Ask Dr. Dan anything. We'll certainly be able to answer those sorts of questions. I don't think I've ever... I've had to do gigs in the rain, so I guess in that sense, I have, yes. In fact, there's one I did up in Toowoomba for Easter Fest one year, and it was pelting down. Anyway, Patricia has asked here, maybe you could explain vocal A's to those who don't know. Trish from Newey, vocal E's, it can depend on how you determine the use of the term. A vocal ease is can be a term used to talk about a style of vocal exercise. Mostly used in classical tuition. We don't really refer to our technical exercises in contemporary as vocal ease. It's mostly a classical thing, and there are whole books of vocal ease to learn. A lot of it is about vocal agility and technically working through very complex melodic structures. And so, yeah, that's what a vocal ease is in the classical sense. Certainly, that's my understanding. Patricia, you might have a different understanding of it than that, but that's mine. Where have we got? Dear me, the question's coming thick and fast. Yushimizu. I hope that's even close to correct. I have a question about the mixed voice. Is the difference between the soft and the hard mix just that the soft mix is falsetto mix and therefore weaker and a bit breathier, or is that wrong technique? I'm going to stop short of saying it's wrong technique, because one of the challenges around voice registration and the many various labels that get applied to it is we get confused. There is great confusion around voice registration and the terminology that gets bantied around. And it's really determining which model of registration is being which lens are you talking through at any given moment. So there's the very, very old now chest and head registration model, which was very, low, high. And that's when the whole thing of mix came in, because we recognized there's something in the middle going on. I still prefer to talk with the Thurman and Welch model, which is 4 points of registration with a 5th for a small group called whistle. There's the newest model, which came out around about 2009, is mode 1, mode 2. Ultimately, what I try to do here on the channel is I try to translate and, be multilingual in my discussion of registration. So when we talk about soft and hard mix, we are just talking about the weighting, and that's where the benefit of mode 1, mode 2 comes in, because we're talking about it as a weighting or a gearing of the voice as opposed to a sectional aspect. You can only be in hard mix, you know, low and high, you know, it just gets so confusing. Again, I'm going to direct you to, I've got a whole video on registration, which can be, I think, really helpful. I think it's called head versus chest. I can't remember. Chest versus head versus mix. Again, there's a whole worksheet attached to that, and it's quite an in-depth, detailed instructional video around it, and I think you'll find that helpful. What about Toku Love has just asked about what about Fach, F-A-C-H. We have to be careful in our use of that term, and we talk about that in the video I've just recommended. Fach is a German construction of voice classification applied quite clinically in the classical world, not in the contemporary world. And again, I think that's because contemporary voice is mostly directed to solo voicing. But if it isn't, we tend to be quite simplistic in just talking about soprano, alto, tenor, bass, a high to low there, and so Fach doesn't tend to come into it. I think from memory, I think there's like 29 Fachs in the German system. It's a lot, and it gets very confusing. Rebecca's made a comment here about practicing resting her voice more this year to see what it feels like. And Dr. Dan, you're right. It really enhances the tonal quality. Thank you for letting us all know that I got that one right. Yes, it does. When you are able to rest your voice and give it downtime, it recovers, it repairs. It means you are starting, when you do come to use it, your battery is full and you are able to use your voice to its fullest. So, Rebecca, I'm glad that has been the outcome for you. Gail has got one more question. I think we're going to bring today to a close in a second, because we're starting to get into the Ask Dr. Dan Anything zone, and I want to keep these sorts of questions for next week. But just as an example for what we tend to ask about, where is it? Where is that question? I'm looking for it. Is it from Gail? I can't see Gail's question. Where are you, Gail? I can see the question over here. I'm just going to read it because I can't find it to put it up on screen. Why can't I find? Oh, there it is. There it is. Gail has asked, what is your favorite Broadway musical? Gail, I'm revealing stuff here. I'm not a big fan of musicals. I'm not. I've performed in them. I had a lot of fun doing that. My wife, Jody, loves going to see a good musical. But I must admit, more often than not, she'll take one of my daughters as opposed to taking me. That being said, the kind of musical that I prefer are rock musicals. So think Chess, Jesus Christ Superstar. What would be another one? Not just to be clear, not leaning into pop musicals like Wicked. I really can leave that. I don't have a desire to see that kind of work. It's more the rock stuff. I haven't seen Six yet, but that I've heard that the singing in that is extraordinary, and for that reason I would want to see it. I would I say that saying that I would want to see it done in an extraordinary level, because I've also heard that Six is a very, very challenging vocal musical. So there you go. I'm not rushing out to see music theatre. I'm not. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. It's just not my bag. But I do love some rock musical stuff, and I have sung my fair share of rock musical. Another one, Rent, would be another good example of the stuff that I have enjoyed. And Rebecca is doing the drum roll for the poll, and I'm so pleased that Rebecca has reminded me, because here it comes. There's a big winner. Ooh, there's a big winner. A winner you can all see online, but in the chat. But with 15 votes, I'm ending the poll. And for those who are playing along at home, My Voice Wakes the Neighbours. Half of you, 7 of you, said My Voice Wakes the Neighbours as an answer to which singing super quirk fits you. Vibrato appears at random, got 27. I'm duet partners with my cat, got 19. And I nail notes I didn't aim for, got 7%. And I think I know who that one vote came from. Linda, was that you? Was that you who put in I nail notes I didn't aim for? I think I've been in lesson with you where you have nailed notes that you didn't expect to nail. So there you go. Toku Lovers just finished singing both Funicular and Fiagro's Ara from the Barber of Seville. Good fun. And Linda, yes, it was. I outed you. It was you who nails the notes that you didn't aim for. Thank you everyone for hanging out. We've got one more show next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to celebrate the year that has been, and we'll spend it with the wonderful Linda, and we've got all those normal stats for you. And just so you're all cool, calm, and collected, the show will go on next year. So if you do miss hanging out with us next year, we will catch you again in the first Monday of February 2026. But I do hope you can hang out with us next week for the final show. Before then, have a great week. Stay safe, stay happy, and I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.